Namaste. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Jill Loftus of Newt Astrology, and today I want to talk to you about the concept that love is not enough. All right, and this is a concept that I've come to over time, and I'm not claiming it as my own idea, or I'm sure there's other people that have talked about this, but I find it as a recurring theme throughout my life and in the lives of my friends and my students and people who I deeply care about, that there's this concept of love that's too rigid and is always about the other, right? About the family member or the lover or the child or whatever. Now, as I've mentioned in a previous video, my 10 truths you were never taught, love is one of the most powerful forces on earth. And, I've had the enormous privilege of becoming a mother in this lifetime, but that's not everyone's path, right? And that was probably where I learned the most about love. And there's many different kinds of love. And that's another thing I think is important to point out, in other cultures. There are so many words for love because there's so many kinds, so many flavors of love, right? It's like ice cream, right? I always say that about yoga, right? Find the flavor you like. Well, love is the same, There's the passionate love for your lover. There's the enduring love of a long-time relationship. There's the familial, obligatory love. There's the incredible devotion and love that you have for your children. At least that's been my experience, and I'm grateful for it. There's the love of friends. There's the love of certain experiences. There's love that's in its twilight, right? That you can feel, like where the karma is starting to resolve, and it's obligatory, but not in the same way that familial love can be obligatory. And again, so many shades, many flavors, many degrees of love. But I feel like it's really important that we all recognize and acknowledge that in order to have a healthy relationship that you choose to have, someone you choose to be with, lover, spouse, friend, anyone that you really consciously, volitionally choose to engage in relationship with. And we'll talk about family and children and all that stuff in a minute here. But the people you choose to have in your life, who you love, that love is not enough. Love is not enough. It is not enough to feel that love. That is not reason enough to stay in a relationship. You can absolutely love someone in this crazy, unconditional way, and they are still not worthy of taking up space in your life. They are still not people to whom you should devote time, attention, or resources. You can still love them. You can love them like you love the piece of art at the museum, but you don't have to take it home, okay? You can love them like you love pizza, but you don't have to have it every night, There's different kinds of love, and I think it's so important, and I had learned this by experiencing it, to love someone so deeply, but realize that love was not going to end, but the relationship had to. I had to walk away from this person who could not be the person I needed them to be in the role that they were playing in my life, okay? They were supposed to be my romantic partner. And I love them with the devotion that I love my children, right? Which means you're always there for them. But it wasn't the right love for a partnership. It wasn't that they could be there for me in the way I needed an adult, the way I needed somebody who could meet me in my strengths and help me when I was down, and I could help them when they were down, and we just come together and become greater than the sum of the parts, right? My spiritual grandfather, Shelley Trimmer, used to say, 2 together strongly is like 4 against the world. And it always takes me back to that Kahlil Gibran saying, which I've read at least a couple of my friends' weddings, right? The pillars of the temple stand apart. And I remember when I was going through my second divorce, which was, divorce is hell, right? My first divorce, I was very young. It was clearly the right decision. He was awful and abusive. My second divorce was a little more nuanced in that I had 3 children with him, and he was not mean or cruel. At least he didn't mean to be. He just wasn't my person. It just was not working. It was dysfunctional on many levels, but it just was wrong. It wasn't working. And when I was going through that process of letting that relationship go, making that choice, which was a hard choice to make, I had a dear friend who said to me, and she has, and still is, married to her sweetheart of like, I think they've been together like 50 years, which these days is like 100, right? And she was like, I always think of me and my husband, my partner. I guess it's a better lingo these days, although I don't like the word partner. It reminds me of my law firm days. But she said, I always think of my husband and I as 2 strong, tall trees, and our branches intermingle, and maybe sometimes we lean in towards each other, but we stand apart. And I think that really is, if you think about a healthy relationship, that is the way it needs to be. And if we think of the reality of our dual-natured world, right? The inhale, the exhale, the dark, the light, the above, the below, you know, the in, the out, the up, the down, that makes sense, right? Those 2 polarities come together, and they create something that's better. And it's balance, right? In astrology, it's the sign of Libra, right? It's the scales, which rules the 7th house of partnerships. Now, when you talk about family and things like that, it gets a lot more complicated, because, I mean, I remember saying many times to my children, I love you, but I don't like you right now. And I think, you know, that's another video. I'm going to do another video on raising children. I think that's, it is truly one of the highest levels of service that you can offer to the universe. It's also really a fast-track educational process in so many ways. My children raised me in so many ways. But that kind of love is different, but you still have to have those boundaries, right? You still need to have that understanding of, I love you, but this is where I stop because you're taking me down. I love you, but I might not like you. I love you, but I don't trust you. I love you, but I see what you're doing, and I don't have to go down with that ship, okay? I don't. I just don't. There's other things to live for. There's other things to do. So I hope this was helpful. Please put any questions down below. I'd love to hear your feedback and your ideas and your concepts as we, you know, wade ever further into these higher vibrational states that these next few years are bringing. Love is going to be an important part of the process, but it has to be love that doesn't destroy you. It has to be love that doesn't deplete you. It has to be love in the way that you need to be loved. And sometimes the strongest act of love that you can offer to somebody is to walk away from them. All right. Well, if you found this useful, please like the video. Please share it with your friends, anyone who you think might be helpful. This might be helpful for, and subscribe to the channel. Feel free to check me out. I'm only on Instagram. I don't do other social media. And I hope you enjoyed the beautiful fall garden. The last flush of sunflowers. It's just a beautiful day. All right. Namaste, my friends. Bye.